What is going on, guys? Coach Abby here to bring you tips and tricks on your jiu-jitsu journey and life in general to become 1% better every day. Today I'm going to be talking about what not to wear when starting jiu-jitsu or training in jiu-jitsu, and I would love to share this with you because I wish I knew this in the beginning. Number one, this is something I noticed. I did not struggle with it. If you're a female, wear something supportive and that will smash the girls down and cover yourself appropriately, because your gi will in fact cover you, but sometimes things are adjusted or they get, loosened up, and you want to be respectful to your partners because you don't want to be doing stuff that doesn't seem appropriate and you're not really thinking about it because you're trying to work a move and then things happen. So be aware of that. On the guys' end, don't be wearing stuff that's really loose or maybe super tight. I've seen both in no gi and then also in gi where things are just starting to slide down. So try to be aware. One way to help with both of those is a really good sports bra and a t-shirt or tank top that can come up, right, that you know is not going to be adjusted. For women, for men, wear spats or compression shorts or leggings that you feel can help kind of keep things in place without being a little bit too disruptive. I don't think that's a huge issue. I really only remember seeing one dude, and he was wearing really short spats or compression shorts, and we're talking short, and they were like mostly white with some design, and it was in a tournament, and I was like, dude, you didn't think about this? Anyway, it wasn't a huge deal, but it's like, come on, right? The second thing I'll say is that you want to wear things, if you don't have a gi yet, don't wear things with buttons and zippers on your pants or shorts, because that can get painful for you, but also for somebody that you're working with, depending on if they're doing like triangles or something, and there's buttons or zippers or things on the sides of your pants or leggings. That can be really frustrating and painful. Along with that, speaking of bottoms or shorts, you want to make sure that they're not super loose at the waist, just because you will be moving, sliding, shrimping. If you don't know what that is, you'll know in time. You're doing a lot of movements and you want to make sure that things are staying in place. So if you have pants or shorts, try to make sure that they're either pretty tight up top, that they're not going to slide around easily, or you have strings to adjust them, right, to tighten them when you need to. The last thing I'm going to also say for pants is you want to make sure that they're not see-through, because I've had issues where I didn't know that my sports leggings were not squat proof, and it was really embarrassing because I found out at the end of the day and nobody told me, and this was in a tournament. So it was bad, and I was just like so embarrassed because I found out by myself at the end of the day because no one told me. And I remember getting a lot of looks, and they weren't great looks, but I was like, well, that's weird, and I had no idea. So if you are a friend and you see somebody, tell them, hey, I can see your stuff or your underwear. Or if you are somebody that you notice that you don't have squat proof pants or leggings, throw some shorts on top or something like that, because it can be, first off, nasty, and second off, if that means that the material's thin, so a lot can happen. Just be aware of that. For your top, you want to make sure, for me, it was never an issue. I wear tank tops a lot because I don't like to feel restricted in my arms. And so I like to have a tank top with my gi, not to feel so restricted. Some people get burns like on their back from their gi or from the mat. And so I do know a lot of girls that wear compression shirts. So you could wear that. If you have a shirt that's like a dry fit shirt, that's good to wear in the beginning too, under your gi. Or if you don't have a gi yet, you don't want to make it super baggy and stretchy and loose, because once again, things can happen unless you don't care about that shirt. And then also, it's easier to kind of tuck in and once again have it be a little more secure if it is a dry fit or a little bit tighter of a shirt. And that can go for men and women. The last thing I'll say is when you're doing jiu-jitsu or starting off, you want to have slide-on shoes and off shoes that are easy to keep next to the mat just because you're gonna be barefoot. You don't wanna be walking around barefoot around the gym. That's a big no-no too. If you haven't yet gone to a jiu-jitsu gym consistently, it's really gross. And even if you see other people and you think it's okay, just be respectful that like your face is on the mat and other people's faces are on the mat. And so if you're walking around the gym, heaven forbid the bathroom, like that's nasty. For what to wear, make sure you have some kind of slide-on shoes. If you happen to have sneakers and socks, just make sure to slide those on if you are going somewhere and then going back to the mat. That's just helpful and sanitary on a very basic level. And I'm sure if you haven't seen signs of it, that's something that's important in most gyms. You want to keep your feet clean off the mat, and you want to come onto the mat with you know, clean feet, and right out on the side your shoes are waiting for you. So like I said, no buttons and zippers. Make sure things are not see-through easily. And be a good friend if you do see something see-through. If someone notices and doesn't care, at least you let them know. And then the third thing is making sure that your feet are clean. You have good slide-ons, sandals, something to wear on and off the mat. Don't ever put your shoes on the mat. Also, if you're brand new, that's a huge no-no too. You don't want to wear sneakers on the mat or shoes on the mat. That's one thing that you will get called out for if it's something that you do. If it's an accident and you trip and fall, okay, they might let it slide, but usually it's like really important that you don't do that. Don't let your kids do that either. If it's an accident and they're a baby, okay, they'll let it slide. But if your kid is 5 and 6 years old and they disrespectfully get on the mat with shoes and you don't think twice about it, I would just apologize and make sure that your kids know, you know, hey, this is a respectful place. Our heads are on here, our faces are on here. It's really not clean. Make sure if you go on the mat, you take your shoes off. And I've seen a lot of kids, they're able to respect that, no problem. They just have to understand why it's important and what to do. And I think the same thing goes for adults, right? So I hope that was helpful. Let me know what's one thing that you learned in the very beginning on what to wear or what not to wear when training jiu-jitsu. For me, it was the pants thing, because I didn't have a gi. I had pants, the pants had a button, and I got chewed out for it because I wasn't supposed to wear pants that had buttons or zippers. I didn't know that, but it made sense after they told me, but I didn't know what to do. These were the loosest pants I had that were like sweatpants. They had a tie so I could keep them up top so they wouldn't slide down, but there was a button and I got in trouble for the button. So some people care, some people don't, but it does make sense. You don't want their button or zipper to get scraped across somebody's face or whatever. That's not fun. So that's what I learned. Let me know what you learned down below in the comments. Thanks again for joining me on this adventure, and I'll see you guys next time.